For assistance with a misdemeanor case or a traffic violation, press 2. If you need assistance with a small claims matter, or if your case number contains SC, press 3. For information on how to retrieve copies of court records or marriage licenses, press 4. For all other questions, press 5 to the next. Clerk's office, how can I help you?
Yes, is this the clerk for the county or clerk for the court?
Well, this is the Allen County Clerk's office for the court.
Okay, is there a separate government division that's a clerk for the county itself?
I'm not sure what that would be. I mean, this is the Allen County Clerk's office. Is there like a specific need that you have? Maybe I could direct you?
Well, I do have a specific need, but I'm not from Indiana, so I guess things are run a little bit differently up there where you guys are. But in some parts of the country, there's a clerk for the court, but then there's also a separate government agency that's an actual clerk for the county itself. But you're saying that doesn't exist?
I don't believe so here. We have like a city clerk for like the city of Fort Wayne, but the clerk's office of Allen County, I think this is the only one that would kind of represent that, at least to my knowledge.
Okay. Well, I've already tried asking for this before, but I'll go ahead and ask for it again. I'm trying to obtain a probable cause affidavit and search warrant return for a search warrant.
Okay, so let me get that again. So you need a probable cause affidavit for which case?
Fort Wayne Police Department case number 19 F11 6017.
Okay, so was there like a criminal case that was opened in result of this? Because this isn't like a case number we would use here at the court, or it would be like O2, D, or C, and then like a 16-digit like number with some letters.
Well, I have a felony case number for the man that was arrested.
Okay, and what is that?
02 D as in dog 06-1909 M as in Mike, C as in Charlie, -003145.
Okay. Okay. And you just need the probable cause from that?
Well, I need the probable cause affidavit for the search warrant.
Well, I mean, because I have a probable cause like for that case. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, that's a probable cause. What you're looking at, I know what you're looking at because I have that.
Okay.
That's a probable cause for arrest of the man. I need the probable cause affidavit for the search of the man's vehicle.
Okay. Let me place you on a brief hold, see if I can maybe better direct you on who exactly would be able to have that record. Just a moment.
Okay, please.
Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry and Allen County Commissioners Nelson Peters, Therese Brown, and Rich Beck would like to thank you for your call and for your patience, and would like to take this brief opportunity to inform you of city and county news and area happenings. We welcome your comments, questions, and concerns. For immediate assistance, please dial 311 and let us know how we can help. A courteous 311 operator will personally answer your questions or will direct your call to the office that can best assist you.
Okay, thank you so much for holding. I'm so sorry that took so long. I just didn't want to transfer you everywhere. I wanted to get like a good idea of what that entailed. So according to our supervisor, she said that is actually a confidential document, apparently, and you have to, and I can get you a phone number that you'll contact, to room 314 here in our courthouse, and you would obtain a court order to obtain that document.
All right, hold on one second. I'm ready for the number.
Okay, it's 260-449-7566.
And who am I asking for?
That is Dawn Rigsby. She's the judicial assistant for for Superior Court, and that's the room that you would get to. Because Judge Gall, that's the chambers, that's where her chambers is. She's kind of the chief judge for Superior Felony.
Okay, what's the name of that judge? I'm sorry?
Judge Gall.
How do I spell his last name?
Gull. It's a woman, Fran Gall.
Okay, now, you said that's the chief judge?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could have sworn the chief judge was a man.
Not here.
Because your website, I mean, nothing against having a chief judge as a woman. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying that the website shows there's a man. Let me get his name here.
Bobe.
Yeah, that was.
That's for civil court.
Oh.
He's a civil court judge, and she's a criminal court judge.
Okay, well that clears that up. Would you mind giving me your information just so I know who I spoke with?
My name's Taylor. I work for Central Services at the clerk's office.
You said Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Taylor?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have an employee ID number?
No, we don't.
Okay. And again, I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just trying to keep notes of who I spoke with.
Absolutely.
Do you have like an extension or anything like that?
Well, this is the main line, so that's fine. I'll answer this phone.
Okay, and what is your job title?
Court records deputy.
Court records deputy. And you said you spoke with a supervisor. What was the name of that supervisor?
Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen. Is that a first name, all one, like a double name first name or something?
Yes. Mhm.
But it's space, like SUE and
right.
Then okay.
Mhm.
And then what's her job title?
She's the manager of the court records division.
Hold on a second. Now, for the other person that I need to speak to, Don Rigby, you said that's what's her title?
She's the judicial assistant for Superior Criminal. And she works in the room that you would need to get to obtain a little bit more information about getting that court order.
Now, is she an assistant specifically for just the chief judge or all judges?
No, yeah, for Superior Court Criminal.
So
for all.
All.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any way you could transfer me to her? Or?
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Now, Superior Court, this is Dawn. Can I help you?
Hello. I'm assuming I'm speaking with Don Rigby.
This is?
Hi, my name is Andre, and I am trying to obtain some documents from the Allen County, Indiana Superior Court, which I've previously not been able to get my hands on, and I believe they're public documents. I'd like to get them from you.
Okay. What kind of documents?
I need a probable cause affidavit for a search warrant and a search warrant return for that same search warrant.
Okay. Search warrants, I believe, are confidential.
Okay, I believe that's, first of all, and I have no other way to put this, but a search warrant, especially when it's executed, to be confidential is un-American. I don't know how else to put it, but search warrants that are executed especially should be public.
They're not. They're not public at all.
And why is that? Is there a law that says that that's allowed?
There must be. I mean, I don't know exactly what statutes they would be, but yes, I do know that we don't give them out. Okay.
Well, is there what at this point? What I guess I'm forced to do here is, and I'm sure that there's a way that I can do this legally. I need to make a motion with the chief judge to petition to get these documents that I need about this search warrant, because, I respectfully disagree with everything you're saying. A search warrant, prior to its execution, I can understand if it's secret because of police need to have secrecy while they're doing what they're doing. But once it's executed, especially the search warrant return, which simply just lists criminal contraband, why would that be confidential?
I couldn't answer that. I know those cases, they are confidential cases.
Yes, and I keep getting told that they're confident, but that's an arbitrary statement. It's just they're confidential, and for what reason? It's not like there's children involved or anything like that, especially in this particular search warrant I'm talking about. We're only talking about guns and drugs taken out of a car in this particular search warrant. So why? I know we're going in circles here, but I'm not going to let this go. I need to get my hands on these documents, which I insist they are supposed to be public.
Well, like you said, you could try to petition the chief judge, and that would be probably your only bet to see if you could get that. But I've never known to give any copies of those out.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin here. I'm just trying to make sure that this search warrant, I know you can't give me the documents, but I at least want to give you a case number here and a police case number as well. If maybe you have
I can't. The police one I can't do anything with because we don't even use that on our system. So the only thing I could do is a case number, which would start out as an O2D.
Yes, I have that, and I would like to see if a search warrant is attached to that case number at the very least, just to see if it even exists, if you don't mind.
That I wouldn't even be able to tell you. I mean, all I could tell you is if you gave me a case number, that yes, that would be a search warrant case number. I wouldn't be able to tell you what's exactly attached with it or what. I could tell you if the case number has an MC in it, yes, that would be a search warrant type of case number.
Yes, and the case number that I have here does have an MC in it. Mm-hmm. The only problem is when I went to research this case on the Indiana court's website, the only probable cause affidavit that was, there to be released as a PDF was the probable cause affidavit for arrest. But the probable cause affidavit for the search warrant itself was not there.
Yeah, I mean, when you say for the arrest, was it under a different case? Or was you found documents under this case number that you have?
That's where everything is becoming real mysterious and suspicious here, because everything should be under the same case. Because in this particular situation, there was a man who was arrested for guns and drugs, and that's all. There was criminal contraband seized from his vehicle, and that's why he's in jail. So when he was arrested, it was for possession of that criminal contraband, so the search warrant should be part of the case.
Well, the search warrant itself won't be part of the case. There will be a probable cause, like if he was actually arrested and charged and he's actually been convicted, there's going to be a separate case which will have a probable cause in it, but it won't have a search warrant.
A separate case for the search warrant?
No. Like if this is a search warrant case, the one that you're speaking of, so that's just where like the police get, I have probable cause for this, and they get a search warrant signed by a judge, and then they search or whatever. Then if they find that stuff that they're looking for, then a new case would be filed as far as a criminal case, and that would be public record.
Now that makes sense to me, but that's not what I'm seeing here. Because the case number that I have, the one that's on the Indiana court website right now, which I can give to you, it is showing only the probable cause affidavit for the arrest of the man itself. But the search warrant,
What's the man's name?
William R.D. Britt.
I'm sorry, Britt, B-R-I-T-T?
Yes. The case number ends in 3145.
Okay, what that one is, that's a misdemeanor case. What that is, okay, so that particular case, that's a misdemeanor. Everything starts out as a misdemeanor first when it's initially filed, and the state has 72 hours to decide whether or not they're going to pick up felony charges on him. So this case, the 3145, is over. It's a dismissed case. There's nothing here. You could get documents out of this case. This isn't a search warrant case. It is not. It's considered a miscellaneous criminal case. Like I said, these were our 72-hour cases. So initially when Mr. Britt was arrested and they bring him into court, the state has 72 hours to decide whether or not they're going to put felony charges on him. They did do that. The case number that it now is just give me a second, I can tell you what the case number that he's actually dealing with right now is 02 D as in dog 04 -1910 F as in Frank 2 -30.
All right, let me read that back. 02 D as in David 04 -1910 F as in Frank, the number 2 -30.
Yes.
Okay. Is a search warrant associated with this case?
There will be a probable cause, but not a search warrant. There's not a search warrant that's tied to it. I mean, they could have been a search warrant, but that I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Well, there absolutely was a search warrant because I have a copy of the cover page of this search warrant. So I know that it supposedly is supposed to exist because I have that. And it has a police case number on it, which
right.
I got police records for through an open records request. Now,
right, and like I said, that I wouldn't even be able to give you. I mean, the only thing you could get out of this case, there is a probable cause attached to it, as with every felony case that we have.
Well, wait,
probable cause.
Let's just not muddy the waters here, or maybe because I'm a little slow. But when you say the word probable cause, let's just be real clear and specific. That's probable cause for arrest of the man.
Well, what this is the police. It's their what happened that evening. So it'll start out like on the night of such and such on this date at this place, this individual was seen or called. We arrived on the. And it goes into detail about that. It's not a search warrant. No.
I'm well aware of that. And probable cause is used to, convince a judge that a crime has occurred, or that a search needs to be conducted, or an arrest needs to be made. So I understand that, and I'm not trying to be a smartass or anything, but that probable cause affidavit, again, that's for the arrest of William Britt. And like I've been going in circles about it, I'm trying to get the probable cause affidavit for the search warrant of his vehicle.
Right. And that is not anything that I can give you.
Okay, well, what process, or is there an email address where I can forward, because I already have it typed up, where I'd like to send an email for a motion to the chief judge?
You can't email any kind of documents like that. Everything has to be sent in. They don't accept any kinds of filings or anything by email or fax. It has to either be e-filed, which I don't know that the general public is able to e-file anything, so it either have to be walked in or mailed in.
Okay. And when I mail it in, do I just simply write it like I'm writing a letter to anybody else, just attention chief judge?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and then it'll be considered a motion, just like a real lawyer was,
It depends on how you do it. I mean, if it's titled that and it's drawn up like a motion, then yes. But if it's just written as a letter, they're going to call it a correspondence.
Okay. I did mention more than one occasion the word motion, so hopefully they consider it that. But as long as they consider it something, then that's good enough.
Yeah, it'll be one or the other. It just depends on how you have it formatted.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll just look up this other case number you gave me and see if the probable cause affidavit for arrest matches up with the one I already have. Other than that, I appreciate all your help.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Now, secondly, after if Luke Britt does give his response, whenever he does, then if they refuse to give it to you at that point, then you can file a lawsuit and they must pay your attorney fees.
Right.
Because based on Luke Britt, the courts almost 100% of the time agree with Luke Britt. And see, he's a Republican, or he was appointed by the Republican governor, I think it was. But I have found him very fair, and I've worked with him a lot myself. And if he told you to go ahead and submit the complaint, and that he would give a pretty quick ruling, then that tells me that he's on board, and you will get that ruling from him, I'm pretty sure. But in the meantime, if you talk to them and say, look, I'm calling as a courtesy, but I want you to know in a telephone call I had with Luke Britt himself, he's the public access counselor, that he told me that there is no exception, that this is a public record, especially since the search warrant has already been served, and that is no longer a document that can be deemed confidential. That might just go ahead and shake it loose for you.
Exactly, and I hope that that's what happened, and I hope that it's that easy. But another side of me is thinking, I have no proof of this, but I just have this gut feeling that there's a coin flip, that this probable cause affidavit that both you and I are talking and debating about, I'm wondering if it even exists at all.
Well, they would have to, in order to get a search warrant. I've never heard of a situation. Well, I mean, I shouldn't. I've never heard of that happening. But on the other hand, in other words, they would have to fake a search. A search warrant can only be issued on the basis of a probable cause affidavit in Indiana. So I have a gut feel that they must. I think what they're trying to do is hide some information that's in the probable cause affidavit, because they don't want this guy, whoever it is, knowing what information they have, which sounds stupid, but I mean that may be the crust of it. But
if that was the case, I hate to interrupt, sir, but if that was the case, why would they give me, and I'm talking about a lot of information here, why would they give me 29 pages of information, way more than I ever asked for? They handed me a mountain of information. And then when I dug through all of that, there was no probable cause affidavit, which really led me to believe, I'm like, does this thing even exist?
With that, actually, you know what, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Grayson.
Thank you. Again, thanks for having me this afternoon. It's a real privilege to be part of this discussion, part of the process of improving transparency and openness for government. Rule number one of public speaking is not to read anything to your audience, so I'm going to read something to you right now. This comes from the Indiana General Assembly in 1983. And this is my daily affirmation, if you will. Every day when I come into the office, I honestly do read this. It's right next to my one-a-day calendar. It's the preamble to the Access to Public Records Act, and the General Assembly did me a favor in setting me up as to how to do my job and what perspective to take when I make my decisions as public access counselor. They did me a favor by putting the intent of the law right there in the statute. And I want to read this to you, and I really want to have you think about these words and realize that these were written by the legislature, by a public agency, which I think is subject to the Access to Public Records Act. They disagree, but I'm working on that. But just think about this and how it ties into our discussion this afternoon. A fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of representative government is that the government is a servant of the people and not their master. Accordingly, it is the public policy of the state that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government and the official acts of those who represent them as public officials and employees. Providing persons with the information is an essential function of a representative government and an integral part of the routine duties of public officials and employees, whose duty it is to provide the information.
In Indiana, we have something called a public access counselor, and possibly that may be an angle for you as well.
Okay, and I have done a little bit of research into that agency or organization, but from what I've seen, they seem to be like just a shell of an organization. They have no actual power.
Well, that is true, but in theory, they're supposed to be making recommendations to those people about whether they're supposed to give you the stuff or not. So there isn't a lot of teeth, but there's a little bit of process there.
Right. Okay.
And I appreciate your call. Thank you very much for trying us, and I'm sure Lisa would be happy to hear from you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
And take care. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.
I think those words mean something. And when I present to public officials, when I write my opinions, that's the perspective I take, is that it is our right, myself included, as a public official, to allow access, to grant access to information. I get public records requests all the time, just like any other public agency. And that's the philosophy I take. One of transparency, one of access, one of efficiency when it comes to responding to access requests. So what I'm trying to do, and I hope this is evident in my work and the work of my colleagues, is to create that ethos of openness. I like that phrase. I'm going to steal that.
Not even mine.
But I think that's what these words speak to. And so when we're talking about governments voluntarily placing data and information online, I think that's a giant step forward in achieving that ethos of openness. Auditor Crouch made a good point in her opening remarks, is that transparency leads to accountability. And I think accountability leads to better government. And opacity with information breeds, naturally and justifiably so, suspicion and questions as to what our representative officials are doing with our money. And I've heard Auditor Crouch use the expression before about every dollar should be spent with mindfulness. And I believe that's true, and I think that is a great way to put that accountability. A lot of times when I talk to public officials, and I fall into this trap as well, I'm guilty of it myself. But the fact that we know more because we have insider knowledge to this information as public officials, because we know more, sometimes we fall into the trap of saying, well, maybe we know better. And that's not the case. Without input from our constituency, without input from the public, without input from the media, without that scrutiny, then we don't truly know better. And we can't have the tool, we don't have the tools to do our jobs better. When it comes to placing information online, my office is subject to key performance indicators and metrics set by the Office of Management and Budget. And a couple things that I hear over and over when it comes to granting access, and this is on the state level and on the local level, and I empathize somewhat to this. Sometimes it's inconvenient to do that. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to give this information, especially if there's a shortcoming in what I'm doing in my job. That's uncomfortable to put online, to disclose, to release in an email. But again, if I do that, and if I am truly open with what I am doing as a government official, as a public employee, as a servant of the people, a civil servant, then that input that invites, the scrutiny that invites, makes me a better public employee, a better public official. I try my best to preach that to my colleagues, to other public officials, and I think by and large it rings true, and it doesn't fall on deaf ears, and I'm very encouraged by that.
Sorry about that. Yes, I was calling because I was trying to begin a complaint against a Indiana government agency that's trying to deny me records. I don't feel it's legitimate.
Okay, you came to the right place. We handle that. We have a complaint form on our website that you'll need to fill out and attach any supplemental material that establishes a paper trail for the request and denial if you have anything from the agency. But can you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get a probable cause affidavit related to a search warrant that's already been executed. And
okay.
This search warrant was executed in Allen County, Indiana, in the Fort Wayne area, and the judicial branch, the court system, the Allen County court system, the clerk's office is saying that I can't get my hands on the probable cause affidavit simply for the mere fact that it has been categorized as a separate case than the criminal case it's related to, and that based on that alone, that makes it confidential.
Yeah, I've heard this argument before, and to me, it holds no merit. I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit with Allen County's court administrator on issues like these, and some other counties have opened up miscellaneous cases trying to say that they're confidential, but search warrants, and especially after they're effectuated, I mean, those have to be public. Otherwise, we've got basically secret police running around and searching for, you've got Fourth Amendment implications here. So I don't mean to preach to you or lecture you, but I empathize with your case. So I'd definitely be willing to entertain a complaint about this stuff.
Okay, great. Yeah, because you're not the only person who has pretty much said the same thing in so many words. As soon as I told them probable cause affidavit, and that's all I want, other people, I've called a newspaper, and they said, well, that should be public. And I was like, yeah, exactly, but nobody is giving it to me, so.
Yeah. So have you talked to John McGauley? Is that who is denying you the records?
No, I'm not familiar with that name. It's actually a woman. I'll have to look up her name on the email. I think it's Andrea or something like that.
Okay.
But, yeah, she's the one who's been emailing me back. Supposedly she's the records clerk or manager. And, that's who I've been corresponding with.
Yeah. Send that our way. You can find those. Just Google Indiana Public Access Counselor. The complaint form is right there front and center on our website. Like I said, submit any materials that might be relevant, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Actually, in regards to materials, I have it's been like a running email battle back and forth between me and this lady. Her name I'm looking at right now is Derek Griffin, the records manager. So, I have all the correspondence in email that I could send to you guys.
Yep, that's great. That works.
Okay, so I guess at this point I'll just have to fill out the complaint form like you said.
And then send it our way. You can email it, fax it, or send it by U.S. mail, and like I said, we'll take it from there. We have to get a response from Fort Wayne, the judicial branch up there, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking my call, Mr. Britt, and I'll be in touch.
Sure, no problem. Take care.
Yep. Goodbye.
Police department search warrant! Police department search warrant!
There's a lot of talk about search warrants and government power, what can they do, what they can't do. Hold the light here so it doesn't keep blinking. the thing about a search warrant is people think there's this mystery about a search warrant, and it's hard, and cops don't get them because they're so difficult, or, you know, if they do something without a search warrant, it's not right. Or here's the theory behind a search warrant. Now, there's a lot of cops that will do their whole career and never write one search warrant. They're not that common. Very few cops write search warrants. Very few write multiple search warrants. I've written easy 200 to 300, if not closer to 500 search warrants. I would write 2 or 3 search warrants in one day sometime. There's a mystery even among cops with the search warrant. And a search warrant is very simple. It's not that mysterious. The reason cops don't get it is it's an inconvenient, or they don't know how to do it. It's a little bit of trouble. They've never done one. Nobody around has an experience, so they normally don't do it. Working with the DA's office, we would get cases, and if you have a search warrant, it makes it easier to prosecute the case. Why? If I do something as a cop, and I search, arrest, do anything, I have to justify everything I did to a higher level than if I get a search warrant. Because when I get a search warrant, basically what I do is, instead of just doing what I do and then justifying it later and have to justify it, when I get a search warrant, I basically write down why I want to do, why I think I should be able to do it. I have a judge read it, and the judge goes, yeah, okay, I think you're right. He signs off. As soon as the judge signs a warrant, now all the responsibility for me justifying what I did switches to the judge. It switches to the defense now. They have to fight the warrant. It's called quash. A lot of people say squash. I used to say squash too. Quash is some legal term to suppress or to remove. So they quash the warrant. They have to do a motion to quash that warrant, and it's a very high standard. Because when you're attacking the warrant, you're kind of attacking the judge. Because the judge reviewed the warrant and said it was okay. So you don't really make points by going in and telling the judge, hey, this judge didn't know what he was talking about. He's an idiot. He signed his warrant. He should have. That don't go over too well. Even if you're right, it don't go over well. So to get a warrant knocked down is very difficult. To confuse a jury and to blame the cop for everything that went around and make him justify it, have him slip up in a few words, that's very easy. So defense attorneys love it when cops don't get warrants. And most times cops don't get warrants. Prosecutors love it when cops get warrants, because it makes their job so much easier, everything they did. Now, where you can get in trouble with a warrant is if I lie, elaborate, exaggerate, add things that maybe I think is true. If I confuse the judge, or they can prove that what I put in that warrant ain't true, it's very easy to get rid of the warrant. The problem is, most defense attorneys don't ever attack the warrant because they know the odds of winning is 0 to none. So they go, why sweat it? If it's a warrant, we won't mess with it. We'll attack the case some other else. Which is what the prosecution wants, because the warrant usually gets you the evidence that they use against the guy. So what's a search warrant? The founders put in that no person, we should be secure in our homes and in ourselves, and we should be free from government intrusion unless government proves and has a judge or magistrate. A magistrate is the same as judge. If you hear the term magistrate, that means judge. If we have magistrate review that actually says, yes, I reviewed the government's case. Because remember, anytime the government does something to you, they're working against you. They're not trying to help you. When cops tell you, I'm reading your rights, and if you really want to help yourself, you should talk to me, that's a flat out lie. People, well, cops can't lie. Cops can lie. It's case law. It's proven that we can lie. They've passed law that we can lie. Undercover cops lie all the time. If cops had to tell the truth, and there's some dummies out there with drugs that still think, they'll ask you, you're working undercover. Hey man, is it true that if you're a cop, you got to tell them? I go, yeah man, I've heard that too. They do have to tell you. They can't lie. Are you a cop? No, I'm not a cop. Oh, okay. And they buy it. So, like I say, cops, we don't catch the smart ones. So there's a rumor out there that cops can't lie. That's BS. Cops lie all the time. Not only do we lie, most of the time we lie, and it's approved that we lie. 2 suspects to enhance our investigation. Not lie just for lying. Not lying to the court, not withholding evidence, not being changing things in a warrant. You cannot lie then. But when you're conducting an investigation and lying improves that investigation, or you're going after a criminal act and you're doing it in a purpose of investigation, you can lie. It's legal. So cops lie all the time. So people that tell you cops can't lie, they're full of crap. All right. And yes, cops lie on the stand. You'll hear cops sometimes joke about when they have to go testify in court. They go, "Oh, I got to go test a lie." Sounds like testify. What they're really saying is test a lie to see if it flies or if it works. It's a play. A lot of cops use it. I don't think a lot of cops are out there lying on the stand. But to me, omission of the truth is a lie. If I don't tell you the truth, I'm lying. If you ask me a question, is it raining out? And I say that the moisture in the air was a little heavy and you might get a little wet, but I don't tell you whether it's not raining or is, then I'm lying. You need to be honest when you're asked questions. Now, prosecution will tell the cops, "I don't want this coming out. I don't want you saying this." I mean, I ought to be a witness for the defense on crooked prosecutors, because believe me, I've seen a lot of tricks, and there's a lot of them out there, and they work the courts, and it's very tough to catch them because cops don't want to lose their career and you don't want to go against prosecution. But prosecutors lie and they try to get cops to lie all the time because they're not the one on the stand lying. If I can talk your dumb butt into getting on the stand and lying, and it helps my case, what do I care? If you get caught, I'll be like, "Man, you shouldn't have lied, you should have told the truth." But you told me you didn't want me to tell. No, I never said that. I always told you. That's why when prosecutions ask witnesses, "When I met with you, isn't it true that I told you that I want you to tell the truth?"
If you need assistance with a small claims matter, or if your case number contains SC, press 3. For information on how to retrieve copies of court records or marriage licenses, press 4. For all other questions, press 5 to speak to the next available clerk.
Clerk's office, how may I help you?
Yes, I'm trying to speak with the clerk for Magistrate Hcns.
For what type of case? Or for what reason?
I have questions about a search warrant.
Okay. Well, the judge is probably in court and I can't send you directly to their chambers, so I'm trying to figure out where to send you. Do you have a case number?
No, that's what I'm looking for. All I have is the Fort Wayne Police Department case number, and I'm unable to obtain the actual cause number or the case number of the court system documents for the search warrant.
Okay, what's your last name?
My last name is Lagergren, Lagergren.
Okay, and your first name?
Andrei.
REI?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there's no match found under that name. Will it be under any other name?
You're not going to find any match under me because the search warrant wasn't, it wasn't applied for against me.
Okay. So where would you like me to direct you? Because I can't get you up to the judge. Would you like to talk to the law clerk or what?
That'll be my next best option, but let me ask this. Does Magistrate Hcns have a clerk assigned to him?
I'm unsure. They work out of a different building than where you just called.
Okay. I guess a law clerk, I guess that'll be my next best option.
Awesome.
Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry and Allen County Commissioners Nelson Peters, Therese Brown, and Rich Beck would like to thank you for your call and for your patience, and would like to take this brief opportunity to inform you of city and county news and area happenings. We welcome your comments, questions, and concerns. For immediate assistance, please dial 311 and let us know how we can help. A courteous 311 operator will personally answer your questions or will direct your call to the office that can best assist you.
Allen Superior Court. This is Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. My name is Andre, and I am on the search for some documents related to a search warrant that was issued by Magistrate Hcns.
You left me a message a while back, right? And I know I forwarded that to Magistrate Kearns.
Oh, you did?
At least I gave him your message, and I'm not sure how I can help you.
Well, at the very least, all I'm trying to get is, I know that this is kind of a wild goose chase, but at the very least, I'm just trying to obtain at least the case number or the cause number, whatever name you use, for this search warrant, because I haven't even been able to obtain even that, just the number of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I can look. What's the name of the?
Okay.
Do you have a name of the person?
Yeah, the person that was searched, and the search happened. The search warrant was issued on September 20th, 2019, and the person whose vehicle was searched was William, R as in Romeo, D as in David. I don't know if that's his exact initials, but R.D. Britt, B-R-I-T-T. Is that how I pronounce the magistrate's name? Kearns?
Kearns. It's
Kearns. Okay.
Kearns. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And well, was there an arrest made?
Subsequently, yes. About a week later. Yeah,
okay.
about a week. Yeah, but that was a week later. But previous to the arrest, there was a search of a vehicle, and that is the case that I'm trying to obtain at least just the case number for.
Well, I don't know that there's a case number for an actual search.
Well, and that's let me stop you right there, because that's where everything gets real confusing to me, because other clerks that I've spoken to have specifically told me that the search warrant was filed under a separate case.
Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand that.
I don't either, but I'm just going.
I mean, I see a new pending case for Mr. Britt.
Right, and that is that is for charges where he's been arrested
stemming
for possession. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, but
for dealing and unlawful possession of firearm.
Right. So now there's no disputing he's in jail for guns and drugs. That's not. I'm not trying to find out information about that. I'm well aware of that. What I'm trying to get, as I've told all these clerks, is I'm trying to get the case number, or preferably the probable cause affidavit and search warrant return for the search of his vehicle a week previous to his arrest.
Okay.
Which was issued by Magistrate Kearns.
And you said the date was September 20th?
Yes, and it was executed on September 22nd, but the actual search warrant itself was issued and signed by Magistrate Kearns on September 20th.
I don't. And you want a number for that search warrant? I don't know. But did you talk to our someone in our clerk's office?
I've spoken to several people. I can't remember all their names off the top of my head, but more than one of them told me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. They told you.
Okay. I was just going to say that I've been told by more than one of the clerks. I don't know their names off the top of my head right now, but I was told by more than one of the clerks that search warrants, and they made it sound like it's a routine procedure. They said that search warrants, including this one, are filed under a separate case number, and that because of that, that's not going to be included with the case that you're looking at for William R.D. Britt, where he's arrested, and that the search warrant portion is separate, and so that's under a separate.
But they
case.
Couldn't give you the number?
A couple of them told me no, but I'm hoping that you can.
I have no idea. I don't. They get signed by a judge or a magistrate, and they go to the clerk's office. That's all I know.
Well, exactly, and so that's why I'm wondering why this is so difficult. Something that to me would seem so simple. I mean, the search warrant was issued and signed by Magistrate Cairns, and it was given to the Fort Wayne Police Department. So that should be in the possession of the Allen County, Indiana court system. And I don't see why you guys can't give me at least just the case number or the documents. I mean, what happened to these documents?
I would think that that's information that you get from the clerk's office, from the clerk of the court.
Okay, now I'm getting confused here. Who are you and who do you work for? I thought you're the.
I work for Magistrate Cairns. I'm a court reporter.
Okay, so, and I'm not familiar with the justice system that well, so does that mean that you are a clerk, or what exactly does that mean?
No, that means I'm a court reporter.
Okay. But do you have access to records? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as far as any cases that are filed, I have access to those records, but not like you were told. The search warrant doesn't become part of that.
You're saying when you say the word part of that,
part of the record.
Once again, I was told that the search warrant is in your court system, and this is according to some of the courts which I've told, is that it becomes its own distinct thing. It becomes its own distinct case, even though it's not an actual case against someone. It's just a legal procedure to obtain a search warrant. That's what I was told, is that it becomes its own case with its own case number. And so I'm still on the hunt for this case of this search warrant and the documents related to it.
Okay. Well, I think you need to talk to somebody in the clerk's office. I don't have anything to do with them, with the search warrants.
I mean, I just keep on getting sent in circles because I've spoken to several people, a few people at the clerk's office.
Can I get your phone number?
Yes, 915-781-4330.
915-781-4330.
Yes, that's my cell phone.
And you are looking for specifically, tell me again, what is it?
Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's take our time here. I'm specifically looking for, I'll tell you what I preferably want, and then after that I'll tell you what I want at a minimum. What I preferably want is, number one, the first thing, the probable cause affidavit issued by Magistrate Cairns on September 20th. I'm sorry, the probable cause affidavit that was submitted to Magistrate Cairns on September 20th by the Fort Wayne Police Department to Magistrate Cairns for the application of a search warrant that was used to search the vehicle of William R.D. Britt.
Okay.
And then I'll go on to number two when you're ready.
You want a probable cause affidavit that was submitted by the Fort Wayne Police Department on the 20th of September.
So Magistrate Cairns.
For application of a search warrant.
Yes. For a vehicle search warrant. That's what it was searched, was a vehicle.
Okay. Got it.
All right, so that's the first thing that I want. That's one of the most critical things I want. The second thing that I want is also related to this same search warrant. I want the itemized criminal contraband inventory, which is called a search warrant return. I want the search warrant return that was submitted to Magistrate Cairns after the vehicle search of William R.D. Britt's vehicle, which is related to this search warrant. And that also should be in the possession of the Allen County, Indiana Superior Court system. I also want that, the search warrant return for this vehicle search warrant, which should have been submitted to Magistrate Cairns.
Okay. And your name again? I'm sorry.
No problem. My first name is Andre, Andrei.
Okay.
My middle initial is K, like Kevin. Last name is Lagergren, Lagren, as in Nancy.
Spell that again. Lag.
Yeah, that's the first three. Lager. E is in Echo, R is in Romeo.
Uh-huh.
And then the last four is G is in Golf, R is in Romeo, E is in Echo, N is November. Gren.
Oh, Gren. Okay. And are you an attorney?
No,
are you with?
No, I'm just a member of the public that's interested in this case. I believe, and I know that this is well established throughout the entire nation, that search warrants are public documents, and I have my own reasons as to why I want a copy of it, but I believe that as a member of the public, I'm entitled to this public record.
Okay. Well, I will see what I can find out.
Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I already asked this, but I can't remember right now. I'm just trying to jot down some notes exactly as to who you are. You said you're a court reporter. Are you a court reporter specifically for Magistrate Kearns or for all judges? Oh, just Magistrate Kearns?
For Magistrate Kearns. I work for the criminal division judges.
Okay, well, that sounds good because this does deal with criminal issues, search warrants and stuff like that. So, yeah. And but if you're the reporter for Magistrate Kearns, I'm sure that you're definitely the right person to go to. But, yeah, this is oh, and by the way, I just want to let you know that I have corresponded in the past with a lady named Andrea Griffin.
Okay.
And she's one of the people who was specifically telling me all the information I just gave you previously, which is she was telling me, and she put this in writing, by the way. She said, well, search warrants are filed under their own separate cases, their own separate case numbers. So when I come to you with that crazy story about that search warrants are under their own separate cases, she's the woman that told me that.
Well, it's news to me, but like I said before, I don't do anything with search warrants.
I understand that, but
specifically,
I think you could see where I'm coming from here. Is that this should be a very basic court document.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it should be easily accessible to the public. I can understand if it might be held as a secret before it's executed by the police, but long after, now it's been weeks after it's been executed, and it's still, I can't get my hands on it, and I'm wondering why.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can find out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right.
And if you don't mind, could I get like your number and extension or something so I can call you back one day?
Sure. It's 260.
Okay.
449-7118.
Okay, 7118.
Yep.
And do you have an extension or?
Nope.
Okay. And how exactly do I spell your name?
Jennifer. Jennifer.
Okay.
So did somebody transfer you? Who transferred you to me?
Apparently it was one of the clerks. I just went to the webpage of the Allen County Clerk's office and I pressed the phone number and I forget exactly who I got in touch with, but they transferred me to you.
Okay.
All
right.
And do you mind if I get your last name? I'm not trying to be nosy, but if I could get your last name, that'd be better.
Knorr.
Knorr. How do I pronounce that?
Orr.
Oh, Knorr.
Yes, Knorr.
Knorr. Okay. All right, Ms. Knorr. Well, I think I've pretty much given you my story and what I'm looking for, and I will be in touch.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day.
First, I want to say good morning. First, I'd like to thank Mayor Thomas Henry and our Public Safety Director, Rusty York. Mayor Henry is committed to public safety. Mayor Henry and Fort Wayne Police Department is also committed to the individuals, the citizens of Fort Wayne. We're committed to the city of Fort Wayne. Along with a partnership with the Allen County Prosecutor's Office, the Allen County Sheriff's Office, the Indiana State Police, United States Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, Drug Enforcement Administration, and United States Marshal Service. Mayor Henry and the Public Safety Director, Rusty York, and along with these individuals standing behind me, we care about the victims of violence. We care about the families that are affected by this violence. We also care about these individuals who commit these acts of violence. But we can no longer accept this behavior and what's being done to the city of Fort Wayne. So we have combined our gang unit and our neighborhood response team to form a gang and violent crimes unit. The gang and violent crime unit will consist of 3 supervisors, 12 officers, and an officer from the state police department. We'll work 7 days a week, and we'll focus our attention on the times where crimes are being committed the most. The Fort Wayne Police Department and gang unit will focus on these individuals who are suspected and known gang members. The gang unit will focus their attention also on serious violent criminals in our community. We know who you are. We know who your friends are. We know what type of vehicles you drive. If you continue with this criminal activity, you will become a focus of the Fort Wayne Police Department and these individuals that stand behind me. We also have a contact number that you can call, and you can report criminal activity, drugs, gang, and guns. That number is 427-1262. You can also click on our website, fwpd.org. Click on the website. You can also report gun, gangs, and criminal activity without having your information being passed on. But Fort Wayne Police Department and these individuals standing behind me, we cannot do it alone. We need the help from the citizens of Fort Wayne. This gang and violent unit is not a catch-all. It's a team effort. We need the community to help us as well. Thank you.
When somebody seals a search warrant, they really don't want to get out. Now, there's a reason to seal a search warrant. If I do a search warrant and it's an ongoing investigation, there's certain search warrant becomes public once I file the return. Search warrant becomes public once I file the return. Search warrant becomes public once I file the return.
Search warrant becomes public once I file the return. Search warrant becomes public once I file the return.
Search warrant becomes public once I file the return. When I do a search warrant, I search, I seize evidence. When I seize that evidence, I turn that evidence into court and say, this is what I got from this search warrant. And then that gives my credibility later that I've served 20 search warrants and all 20 search warrants have resulted in evidence. So that gives me a little bit more credibility when I go get another warrant. Well, what it also does is it makes this a government document. Government documents are public, so now people can get access to that information. If I use confidential sources or confidential information that will compromise my ongoing investigation, I can have this warrant sealed. And once I have it sealed, here's the problem. There's no limit on how long. I just have it sealed. Now nobody can get that document. When a warrant is sealed, questions need to be popping in people's mind. Why is this warrant sealed? Are they really, because cops seal it all the time just for GP because they don't want to know it's a shitty warrant, because they don't want to get out, for whatever reason they want. They just try, a lot of people, crooked cops, I know a lot of cops that will seal warrants for the main purpose just because they don't want somebody reading their shit. Because all their warrants are the same, they change the names, they're all the same, they're BS, and the next thing you know, people are going to jail who really aren't guilty, but the prosecution loves them because they get a conviction, they get somebody to go to jail.
We're having this discussion in a historic room. Almost exactly 25 years ago, the first national conference on computer-assisted reporting was held on this campus, in this building, using every room in the building. And in those days, journalists had horror stories of trying to get access to data, if it was even in computer-readable form. A lot of it was paper records. FOIA requests were being denied or delayed on purpose. Records were being declared closed off when, even by statute, they were open. And I'm somewhat encouraged to see there's been a lot of progress, but I'm also very discouraged to see 25 years later, people in this room are still having the same kinds of problems that people were having in 1990, even with a public access counselor that did not exist in 1990. And it seems to me that there's one group in the state that continuously monitors bill drafts. That's the Hoosier State Press Association. Steve Key is general counsel. In a recent column, he said that he flagged more than 60 bills in the current legislative session that would have had a negative effect on open records or open meetings or negatively affect transparency of government in some way. So the question is, you know, and it's an open question, it seems to me the real danger in transparency is what legislators do naturally. And so how can we offset that? Now, one thing that happened quite by circumstance, my wife at one time happened to be a lawyer who was a bill drafter for the Legislative Services Agency. And she'd heard me rant on open records for a very long time. And when she was asked to draft a bill that mandated the collection of data, she would automatically add a clause to the bill draft that made the data available to the public. And when the legislator would look at the draft, well, what's this? And then she would explain it to them, and the legislator could either accept that clause or not. Usually they did. Well, she's retired. There's nobody doing that anymore as far as I know. So what does the panel think that can be done to further the progress of open records? I mean, we've got portals, we've got an access counselor, but records are still being denied. I mean, what's the answer?
They pieced together the story. Drug sellers who repeatedly stabbed a customer to take his money.
We want somebody to watch the girlfriend's apartment in the back. There's about 2 apartments we're going to hit. This murder which happened there last night, we're going to probably hit, if he's not there, we're going to check apartment 104, at least 1 more unit. Ready?
They have names on 2 suspects. One, a 14-year-old boy who lives near the murder scene.
1 or 2. The rest of y'all can stay outside.
Do you know where Boo's at right now?
No.
Boo's the one to stab him?
Yeah, I was standing right there the whole time. I was trying to tell him not to stab him. For what? It ain't no sense to do it. I was pulling him away.
All right, where's the transport car?
Right beside you. Behind us.
All right, you want to just take him right down the home?
This whole murder's over a $20 crack. Okay? That's all it's about. $20 rock. If you saw it, fine. But if you didn't see it, I want you to be lying to cover up for your boyfriend.
I ain't coming up for my boyfriend. I ain't see him in it.
Well, what happened then? Tell me. What happened?
When I was standing in the hallway, it was,
Show me where it happened at. Come on, you show me where it happened at then.
The second suspect, known as Boo, also lives in the neighborhood.
He probably hit the man, but I did not see Boo with no knife.
All the blood, is that where it all came from?
It was, yeah, the blood. It was right here, and they was standing him outside, too. Right here in the hall. Right here. Out here.
Let's get somebody to take her on down, too. Okay, for a statement. Apparently they sold him some bad drugs, and he wanted to get his money back.
It looks like it's been wiped already.
It's been cleaned off.
It's clean. Clean.
Are we sure it's a weapon?
She said it is. She said this is the weapon that he gave her.
It's good enough.
The juvenile we arrested for this says that the other person we're looking for, Boo, who he says did the stabbing, is at this crack house. And we're going to go see if Boo, Leonard, is there. Our backup. In most neighborhoods, most of the crack houses are known to everybody.
This isn't what you used to get.
This is a known crack house where people come in to purchase crack, use crack to get high. Clearly, it's all narcotic paraphernalia. This is the last place he was at, we're told. So right now we just have to wait to get some more information where the guy Leonard might be at. So. Hey, Willie, make sure you get the back of 104, okay? Come on, what's going up?
Another tip. The suspect is at a relative's home.
Could you open the door for a minute, please? I want you to knock on the door. I want you to say, Boo, please, please, give yourself up to the police. Please. You're helping them out.
I'm not doing it.
You're helping him out. She says he's in that apartment right now, okay? He told her he didn't do it. He was there, but he didn't stab the man. Here, come here. I'll knock on the door. Are you staying there with me? I'll knock.
No, why I gotta stay in here?
Did you call out to him?
Ain't nobody in here.
There is. Would you please call out to your brother?
I'm not calling out. No, you're not in here.
With no search warrant, the police are stymied. With no search warrant, the police are stymied. With no search warrant, the police are stymied.
With no search warrant, the police are stymied. With no search warrant, the police are stymied. With no search warrant, the police are stymied.
If we went in there illegally, we could jeopardize the case, which we don't want to do. Probably in there, can't do anything about it. If we went in there illegally, we could jeopardize the case, which we don't want to do. Probably in there, can't do anything about it.
In this screencast, we'll discuss the Fourth Amendment and its protection from unreasonable searches and seizures. First, though, let's look at the historical context of the Fourth Amendment. Under English law, the saying was, if the constable blunders, the crook should not go free. In other words, if the police made a mistake, it shouldn't result in the charges being dismissed. Now, this was a problem because it encouraged the introduction of evidence as trustworthy when it wasn't. Whenever a police officer violated someone's rights, they could just say, whoops, I made a mistake, and the charges wouldn't be dismissed. So the Fourth Amendment tries to prevent this. It protects us from unreasonable searches and seizures. It's important to note, all searches and seizures without a warrant are initially presumed to be unreasonable. Now, there are many types of searches without a warrant that the courts have recognized. Those will be discussed in Unit 7. So what is a search, and what is the purpose of a search? A search is considered a prying into hidden places. A search of a man's person, a house, or property. Searches are conducted in order to locate persons, contraband, not jail contraband, criminal contraband, fruits of a crime, and tools of a crime, such as a gun used in a bank robbery. The Founding Fathers recognized that sometimes searches and seizures would need to be conducted. They had to ensure only searches and seizures that were reasonable would be conducted, though. So in the Fourth Amendment, they created the requirement for a warrant and what it would have to contain. A warrant must first contain probable cause. Probable cause has been defined as facts and circumstances which would lead a reasonable person to believe a crime had been committed or a person had committed it. Warrants must identify what is to be seized, such as a person or an object, name or describe a person, place, or thing to be searched, and now this involves the who and the where. They must command a police officer to search. It's a magistrate's order. Therefore, it has to also be signed and dated by the magistrate.